everybody, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and this video is from our interview with Ralph from Ardent Roleplay, and it's going to be on the basic introduction to their software. Thank you, and enjoy.
Great. So on the left-hand side, you've got the campaigns that you've previously done, previous one. So if I go to Quick Start, so everybody, when you download the app, it automatically gives you a Quick Start campaign, so you've got something to kind of play with. So when you go into Quick Start, you've really got three kind of things. One is just your campaign details, where you can just put some extra text that talks about, what you're doing. The second one, which is the main one, is the list of encounters. So these are things that you've kind of looked together and pulled together some bits. So if we look at that alchemist shop, again, you look at each of those, it gives you a bit of text that you can look at. Go to the alchemist shop, I can edit that. Unpacks those files. Incidentally, I'll also say, so when players join a campaign, they do that with just a little 7-digit code that you give them. They join in, so you're not going to get other people Zoom bombing your campaign or anything. They can't see beforehand what models you're going to use, so they can't kind of go, oh, there's a dragon model coming up, I'll prep for that, anything like that. It will dynamically download the models at the start of a session. So what they can do before the campaign is just go into that campaign. It'll download what they need, and then afterwards it's all locally cached, and all they're getting is just a tiny notification of turn this on, turn this off. All right. So in here we've got up the top a thing that tells you what you want to call that encounter. So alchemist shop upstairs. So I can change that. Main room. I might decide to have an extra room. Oh, do we have a main room?
Character limit.
We have a character limit there. I didn't know we had a character limit there. We will fix that. There you go. The weird little things. Oh, it's probably so that it doesn't look weird so much on the thing. Anyway, there's a character limit. We'll probably take that off. Got a name there. Then you've got these approach, view, reveal, resolve, those 4 states that I've talked about. So the approach has a smaller scale kind of model, like that building here, and you've got this little 3D viewer that you can look at. And it has, so this is with this one, there's a single state. It's just this approach, and there's not a lot you can actually modify for that approach. There are other models in the approach view where you can turn like rain and weather effects on. Like we have a ship model. Actually, if I just go back out, I'll continue without saving. If I do create new encounter, and let's say I go down to the ocean. I'll look at this top deck. So this pack, so these are kind of different packs of models in different settings. So this top deck pack has a golden eagle. It has some interactables like a ring and a desk and things like that. It has some NPC, and it has these stages, which are the bigger kind of scenery, terrain kind of models. So yep, they're cool. They're sorts of things I want. I'm going to look at that 4 deck. Quickly download that, add that to my library of things. And we're making a visual catalog, so you can kind of look at those visual. It's one of those things you make it when you've got a couple of models and you know what everything is, and then you realize this is never going to scale to a couple of hundred models. So we've got a visual catalog obviously coming out that you can browse through. So here, if I go to the approach view, there's nothing kind of set up yet. I create a new viewable state. Okay, and here's my ship. Let me zoom out a little. So here's a ship on a little block of ocean, and those waves kind of move. And I've got 3 different sets. I've got the calm ocean, I've got choppy ocean, and I've got stormy ocean. So here we go in, the ship kind of bobs around, the waves move more. There's a bit of storm stuff happening on the same time. So I might go cool, stormy. I'll create another one, calm. And then, oops, calm. And then I'll create another one for choppy. So now for this model, I've got 3 different states for those 3 different sets. That's it. Save that. That adds it to my list of encounters. It's kind of there for me to use. If I go back out to the encounter list, the Alchemist Chop is a good example for then other things. So that's the approach. Now, if I go into the view, which is kind of where you're exploring, I've got 2 sets, one with walls and one without walls. So here's ones I've already set up. I'll just set it up without walls for people so they can see it. And I wonder whether you can see. So the staircase, actually, you can look down. So you can see that there's some stuff down there. Another room down there with floor and stuff. And so in here, I've got a desk and all sorts of things. And those are the kind of interactables that I can turn on and off for that. So I've got a small desk. I've got this small desk here that you can see. Take that away and I'll put that here instead. So that's one that has a bit of a magic aura on it. So I can configure this so when the wizard looks around, say I do a detect magic to see if there's anything in this room that I want to have a closer look at. I just turn that on for them, and they go, "Yeah, I'm having a closer look at that desk. I want to check that out." And then I can do things like, this might be a little hard to see, but if you have
the drawer's open, yeah.
So, and they actually kind of open up. So another thing, we're looking closer, and the drawers open up and come out, and I can overlay it so you still got the magic sparkle and things like that. These things. And then here we've got a whole bunch of stuff. There's a note. So here you've got a folded note that's there. If somebody says, I want a closer look at the note, then I go across to that prop card that has a note that opens up. And then they, to say, okay, now look at this other card. Oh, that's the note. Now I can kind of explore that separately in that way. And then here we've got a whole bunch of things with different variations. It's blank. It's got text on it. So it might be blank, but somebody says, I want to check if there's any kind of secret writing on it. I hold it under a torch, or I squeeze lemon, or I have some powder that brings secret writing out or something. And they go, yes, you see, and suddenly there's text there. You say, great, there's text there. I still can't read it. Not very useful. And those things. What else? We've got a wall safe here. We can open that up. So the door opens if you manage to kind of have a skill test to see whether you can guess the combination code, and there might have been some things earlier that had some numbers, so you can almost turn this into a bit of an escape room kind of engagement as well as sort of puzzle rooms, where you can put all sorts of clues around the room with text and different things, and then that gives you the number that gets into the safe, and then if you're in the safe you can then get to that next level. With some of the models we've got, that's probably the wrong one, this one. With some of the models we've got some NPCs in the set because it just sort of made sense at the time. Like we've got a clerk in there, clerk who stands there, and if you're a group of murder hobos, then they might eliminate that clerk, or maybe they need to, but it happens. Here's an example of the trapdoor, right? So you might have a trapdoor here, which somehow magically nobody else can see, but to the rogue it's really obvious. It might be even highlighted. And we've got yellow and blue highlighting. So the blue highlighting is kind of magic, and the yellow highlighting is just, hey, notice this. It's just a highlighter. So sometimes you're looking, they're looking at it and you go, you're not seeing it. Okay, let me make it really more obvious for you. And then we can kind of trigger that. So, you can look right down. It goes down 2 floors into the cellar. So it has a really nice drop. And when you're seeing that on the table in front of you and you're kind of looking down, it's just really cool.
It's like one of those things I always wanted to build in my house.
A trap door, that in a secret room, right?
Yeah,
it's the trapdoor that goes down to the DM room. Yeah. Well, here's the plans. So, so basically, you've got a whole bunch of NPCs, a whole bunch of things that you can do there. You exit out. I won't save that. You exit out. You've got these models, and then you go into sessions and say, "Cool." So there's a sample session. So in this case, I'll create a new session. Friday. Whatever it is, 3 July or something. Yeah, it's one session for this Friday night. I'll just say that. And I go, cool. I've got on the right-hand side, I've got all the encounters that I've prepared for this. I say, cool, I've got this gold dragon. Which card do I want to apply it to? We've got a whole bunch of different suits, different decks to play with. So I'll let them know that it's a dragon. I'm going to use the dragon card from the mountain deck. Good. That's it. That's kind of the extent of setting up sessions. So the dragon is now allocated to the dragon card. I've got the ship card. I look at the anchors deck, and I'll use the blatantly obvious ship card, and that's now set up. I save that, and if my players have joined my campaign in the app, they now have a new session called Friday 3rd of July that they can change to. They could go into. They'll go in. There'll be nothing there because I haven't turned anything on and off for them. But once I turn things on and off, they'll then see that. The only thing that's there at the moment for them is that they can see which cards. So if they've got the full deck of 75 cards, there's a thing that says these are the cards that you might want to pull out because they're the ones that we're going to play with, that Friday night. So you can prep a little beforehand. And again, we've got 15 cards in the print and play deck. So that gives you heaps of cards to actually already play with for a session. Because of course, next session, same cards, completely different model. We don't want not being able to get access to the cards to be a thing that stops you from starting to play. We think the cards are really great, really beautiful, and hopefully people will want to buy more cards. And once all this lockdown stuff and everything is kind of over, we're working with distributors to get cards into your local friendly game store. So you don't just need to go online and order them that way.